Thank you so much for joining the Sue Free Show, and I'm so thankful once again to be here with you. It's amazing. I think about it. I just think about how long I've been on, and when I was asked to do this, I said, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to find the time. I don't know what to call the show. That was easy. And also, what am I going to talk about? And it's been 16 years, and I have not run out of topics or discussions or guests that want to come in and share their story. And I love it. I just love it. I love that God chose me to do this. It's just an honor and a privilege. So today's topic is talking about being thankful and rejoicing. Right before, in scriptures where it says rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice, and it says be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. And I wonder how many of you that are listening right now can honestly say that you are not anxious for anything. Thanksgiving is right around the corner here, and I don't know about you, but it's an important time for me. I love taking the time, carving the time to just say, and it shouldn't be just Thanksgiving, and for that, I realize that, but to just say, I'm so thankful that you're in my life. I'm so thankful you were born. I always say that when I'm wishing someone a happy birthday, is that I'm thankful they were born, because I truly am thankful they were born, and I'm thankful that our paths have crossed. I'm thankful that we had the opportunity to learn from one another, and I'm thankful for the relationship. I had a man one time, and he said, he was a speaker, and he was talking about gratitude. And I haven't done this to the max. He said that he took it upon himself, he challenged himself to get a piece of paper, a notepad, a notebook, and write everything he was thankful for. And he started with 50 things, then he went to 100, and then he went to 150. He told me that he came up with 500 things that he was thankful for. And right now, if you're thinking about it, I don't know if you're sitting somewhere where you actually could try this little lesson, but just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and write what you're thankful for. Now, the first, I would say, the first 25 were fairly easy for me, but then as I kept going, it got a little more difficult, and then all of a sudden, a whole nother layer would be unraveled or uncovered. And then I had like 10 more really quickly. And then again, it would happen again. So I recommend highly that if you want to give this a shot, I think it's really a great, great exercise to just realize how thankful and how blessed we are. I know that I'm blessed. I am blessed beyond measure. When someone says something to me, I said, yes, I know I am blessed. I'm blessed beyond measure, and I truly am blessed beyond measure. Now, with that said, does it mean that that hasn't come without cost, sacrifice, financial blessings, just financial blessings? Does it come without a cost? No, because what are you doing? You're trading time for money. It's trading time for money. And we only have 24 hours in a day. I just recently signed up for a AI class because the way they're promoting it is, how would you like to get 15 hours back each week? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a maximizer. I don't have time. And I know I only have 24 hours. So sometimes I get up at 1. Sometimes I get up at 2 because I have so much to get done. There's no way in a normal 8, 10, 12-hour day I'm going to get it done. Anybody relate? Can you relate to that? And a side note that just came up in my mind right now, I always ask the Lord to reveal things to me, is one day I was in church and I wrote the word busy. B-U-S-Y. And then I said, so much of my world, of my days, are busyness. I'm just so busy all the time. People say that, I want to get together with you, but you're just so busy all the time. Your calendar's just always booked. I'm like, yes, it is. And I don't like that, but it's a fact. But when I wrote busy, B-U-S-Y, and then I wrote busyness, in our language, it goes to B-U-S-I-N, right? Busyness, E-S-S, which also spells, well, I guess you do it B-U-S-Y-N-E-S-S, but if you just change that Y to an I, what do you have? Business, right? Business is full of busyness. And how do we calm that? How do we calm that current, that river that flows and is always evolving and it's always changing, moving? We have to pivot all the time, prioritize and reevaluate our priorities and what is urgent and what is priority. Those are things that happen in a busy person's life. And I've heard too, like in the ministry world, is that if you want something to get done, go to the busy person in the room because they know how to get it done. But we only have 24 hours in a day, and we do have to sleep. We do have to sleep. And if we don't sleep, we're not going to stay healthy. And if we don't stay healthy, money can't buy health. You know that, right? You know that money doesn't buy health. You're listening to The Sue Fries Show. Sue Fries, spelt like fries, oneword.com. Being thankful. So those of you that had a notepad and a pen, have you written 25? How hard was that? Have you written 50? I'm thankful for people and relationships. I would say that, first of all, I'm thankful for my relationship with the Lord. What are you thankful for? I'm thankful that He has been by my side even when I didn't feel His presence, that I'm thankful He carried me when I didn't even know He was there. I'm thankful that when I ask, that I will receive, that when I knock, the door will be opened. I'm thankful for God's promises to me that He's my provider, protector, and that His word is true now and for always. I can rely on it. Have you ever had somebody that has said something and then changed their mind? Have you ever had somebody that said one thing and then did another? I have. And it causes an instability. Now, sometimes we do have to pivot. Sometimes new information comes and we have to make a change, and I get that. That's just being flexible and life happens. I get that. But commitment, your word is very important to those around you. And it doesn't matter if they're 5 years old or 50. Your word is your word. It's your bond. Make sure that what you say, you do. And if you make a mistake, make sure that you are the one that takes responsibility for that and say you're sorry. Make amends. And the sooner you do it, the better off everybody is. In the Bible, it talks about that that we're going to fail, that we're going to miss the mark. And God gives us grace. And it says that His grace is sufficient. Our belief system from when we were little, like I have someone right now that says, well, my dad always did this. So now I do that too. I don't move because of what my dad did. And I'm looking at this person and I'm saying, okay, that's true, but we grow up. We grow up and now we're grown-ups. And we can change those scenarios to be different, right? I learned this as a child, and as we grow up, we can decide if that still is doing us a service or disservice. And sometimes when we get so caught up and it brings us so down, because I know me, people say, gosh, you're so hard on yourself, Sue. And I am hard on myself because I really want to do my best. I want to strive for excellence. I don't want to mess up. I want to do things right the first time. I want to be a model that people would want to follow. I want to be a follower of Christ and do what Christ would want me to do. But I'm going to fall short, and so are you. And the beauty of that is that we have his grace and that he's a forgiving God. As we move through our lives and this journey, we have choices on our now, to be present now, to evaluate what was working or what was and why it was, and then to change that to say, that's not me anymore. For instance, I'll give you one, and this is a mindset. It's a belief system, and I talk about our words and how our words matter and how out of the abundance of our heart, our mouth speaks. Do you agree with that? What we speak out of our mouths, we're bringing it towards us. If it positive or negative, whatever we're speaking, whatever's in our head, our recordings in our head can change our outcome. It changes our behavior in a manner in which it's not serving us. It's not serving you. Here's one. This is one, and I'm going to be very vulnerable with you, and I hope you receive it like that. And I used to say when I was married, because I was married 32 years, and I used to say, I really wanted my marriage to work. I wanted to break the divorce curse. And I would say to myself, alone again, naturally. And I would say it because even though I was married, I felt unheard, unvalued, and I felt, not important. I felt not important, except for I knew I had 2 children that depended on me, and I wanted to make the best world possible for them. I really did. I wanted to be the best mom. I wanted to be the best wife. I wanted to be the best sister, the best daughter. I wanted to do anything I could to be the best I could at all times. That's quite a pressure I put on myself. And it wasn't anybody else that put it on me. It was me. I put it on me because I could. And I felt like I needed to. But I used to say to myself when times were tough, I'd look in the mirror, like getting ready for church, and I have to get the 2 kids ready, fed, cleaned, clothed, and then I had to get me ready, and then I would be late getting into the car, and it just wasn't pleasant. And I know sometimes churches where a lot of things kind of hit the fan. You know, it's interesting. And then we get to church and you get out of the parking lot. You get out of your car in the parking lot, and you got this smile on your face, and you're just, and it's really sad when, a lot of us are really fighting some things and don't know who to ask or what to say or just try to hold it together. And that was me a long, long time ago, before I realized that the value God placed on me for dying on the cross, for him sending his son and dying on the cross for me, that the value he placed on me made me realize that I'm valuable. He thought I was valuable enough to do that. And you're valuable enough that he did that for you too. I would get in front of the mirror trying to get ready and everything, and it was tough, and I was going through all the conversations and trying to figure out my part in it. And finally, I would just say, okay, we got to go to church. It's on a time schedule. Got to go, 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 go. And the kids are waiting, and I got to get them in the car seats. And I just look at the mirror. I would really, truly just do this. I'd look in the mirror, and I'd say, it's showtime, folks. And there was a message that was given this one Sunday that talked about the masks that we wear, the masks that we put on, because we're afraid that if we let the mask down and people saw the real us and the strains and the struggles we're going through, that they wouldn't like us, that they wouldn't want to be our friend. We were so worried. I was so worried about them that I put me aside. And the belief system that I had to change, and I did this about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm driving in my car going to my lake house. And I'm driving, and I realized that I just said, alone again, naturally. And I said, I'm not saying that ever again. I'm not going to play that record anymore, because I do not want to be alone. I do not want to be alone. And so I thought, okay, I got to change this internal message that I've been singing to myself all these years. And I'm telling you this for me to be vulnerable to you, but to tell me how this one change changed my attitude of gratitude. And it changed my trajectory of what I portray now is different than it was before. Because alone again, naturally, I was calling that out. I was saying, yep, see, I knew it. And what you believe, you will achieve. What you believe, you will achieve. So I changed one word. Do you know what that one word was? If I changed alone to something that I want, it could still be naturally, couldn't it? Yes. So, okay, what's a word that I would want? Because I don't want alone. I don't want to be alone. I want to be surrounded by the best of the best people. The people that I love, the people that love me, the people that'll defend me when I'm not in the room. I want to be surrounded with those people. And I want to be that type of person to where people will want me to be in their inner circle. So instead of alone, again, naturally, what popped in my head just out of like nowhere is I want to be alive. I want to be alive, and not just alive, breathing, taking up airspace in this world, but I want to be alive. I want to be a light. I want to be an impactor. I want to be alive where people feel the electricity, that feel the energy in me. So now I say alive again, naturally, and I say it and I believe it. And I'm saying if I can do this, I mean, that was a habit I was doing for years and years and years. And I didn't like the outcome. This is the beginning of your script. It's the beginning of your movie. What has been, has been. And you can start your new script right now. And whatever you don't like, change your recording. Change your thinking. And that's part of doing that is on the Sue Fries site, Sue Fries, spelled like fries, oneword.com. You go there and you press this button for the I ams. And the I ams are who Christ says you are. I am victorious. If you're feeling victimized, if you're feeling like you're a victim, then stop saying that. Stop saying anything that's going to give you that subconsciously or consciously that you're a victim. I could so easy go that route, but I don't. Why? Because I'm a better person. I'm a better person because of what I've been through. I'm a summation of all those things that I was taught up till this point, to where now I can share that with other people. I can give other people hope when they feel hopeless. I can give other people a reason to keep on, keeping on. And the reason is in the Bible it talks about that you are victorious because God is victorious. The vengeance is his. When people do bad things, which people have done bad things to me, they're still doing bad things to me. And I just have to realize that vengeance isn't mine, that I need to pray for those enemies. Pray for your enemies. Pray for them to where they can find the Lord. And if they find the Lord, maybe all these things that are going on will go away. Pray for your enemies. And I'm praying. I've got pictures on my computer of the people that are transgressing and doing things that are untruthful and things to me. And I've just got their pictures on I have to look at them every day. And I'm praying for them. I'm really, truly praying for them. So being thankful. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Even in challenging seasons, even when things are so tough, gratitude keeps our hearts aligned with God's purpose and peace. He doesn't say give thanks in some things. In the Bible, it says give thanks in all, A-L-L, all things, good, bad, ugly. Are you doing that? What change can you make today? See, it's one thing for me to sit here and talk to you and you're shaking your head going, oh, wow, I kind of agree with her. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then you leave the car, you lock it up, you go in and make dinner, or you're dealing with the kids, picking them up at school, whatever you're doing. and you forget. Let me challenge you. Go back. You can listen to this again. Just go to Sue Fries, spelt like fries, one word, .com. Wait a couple days because it takes a little while for that show to get on my website. But go back and listen to it again. I've given you some challenges, some exercises that you can actually physically do with a paper and pen. And it's always good to write it. Not type it, but write it. But I really challenge you to make some changes, and just one word can change your life. And I gave you the example for me. I went from alone to alive. Who doesn't want to go from alone to alive? Who wouldn't want to do that? And all those years I could have done that. I could have done it 10, 15 years ago. I could have done it 30 years ago. And I wonder where my life would be if I would have. I don't know. I'm thankful for everything that's happened, good, bad. I'm grateful, thankful, because I am Sue Fries. And I'm Sue Fries because of what has gone on before. Decisions I made, good, bad. Decisions other people made, good, bad. And I'm the person I am today because of that. And the same goes for you. It's a good thing. Don't stay victimized. Don't stay the victim. Just don't do it. Decide today that you're going to change your play. You're going to change your movie. You're going to change the chapters in your book. And you can. Isn't that exciting? What do you want? What do you want in your life? What do you want to be different? There's 5 different sections of your life that you can look at individually to make sure that you are touching every category, every finger, every spoke, so that your wheel can run smoothly. If you don't know what those are, stay tuned for the second part, because I'll go into that. I got to write myself a note so I remember. This has been good for me. I hope it's been good for you, because it's definitely been good for me. But giving thanks. Psalm 107:1, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Thanksgiving starts with remembering God's goodness, past, present, and future. Even if you took the time to write those down. How about your timeline? That's a really good thing to do. I had to do that when I wrote my first book. So we will be back right after this brief break to talk more about how we can do better in our lives.
When I was 2 years old, I had a life-threatening asthma attack.
And as a mom, I was worried. It was a big reason for pioneering our eco-friendly pest and termite treatments. With our dynamic selection of non-chemical and alternative treatments, we achieve effective results that fit the concerns for the health of your families, children, pets, and the environment.
From San Diego to San Luis Obispo, when you have a pest problem, call today. E-Cola, powerful termite and pest control.
As gentle as a butterfly. Thank you so much for joining us. And E-Cola, thank you so much for sponsoring this show. You've been sponsoring it for 16 years. And if you'd like to sponsor this show, I would love to talk to you. I've been advertising for a very, very, very long time. And I can tell you that I know a little. I know a little bit about advertising and owning a company and I have to get my phones to ring. I have 12 people in a call center. I've got 7 offices from San Diego all the way up to San Luis Obispo. And thank you so much for listening, no matter where you're listening from. And on the internet, we're all over the world. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it? We are hiring. I want to say that too. E-Cola is hiring, and we're hiring in every single location. If you're administration, if you're a call center person, you would need to be able to get to Mission Hills, the Valley, in Los Angeles. Other than that, you can be a technician in any other department and responsibility. You can be in any one of those locations, and we need you. If you have licenses in Branch 2, Branch 3, that's extra plus for us, but we will teach you the E-Cola way because we feel it's the best way. So get a hold of me, and if you want to sponsor this show, if you want to advertise on this show, you can. If you service an area such as, let's say, San Diego, we have a show there, and we can just do that show with your advertisement. Or Ventura, or, up north, Orange County, LA, anything, just let us know and we'll be happy to help you there. So thank you, Egola, once again for sponsoring this show. It's a blessing and an honor for sure. So in part one of this, I was talking about being grateful, and I'm going to continue on that road of being thankful and grateful. And I also gave you a couple lessons, and I left a cliffhanger at the end of the first session or segment so that you would stay on with me to learn a little more about that. So if you're going to evaluate every area, every spoke, I call it spokes in a wheel because you want your wheel to spin, really smoothly down the road. And if you have a flat, or if you have one spoke that's not balanced or centered or whatever, it's broke, then that's going to cause your wheel to not turn and move in a smooth manner. And we want that. We want to roll down the road in a smooth manner. And so the areas that you need to think about, we don't need to, but if you want to, I think it's a great exercise, is spiritual. These are the areas in which you give yourself a number from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the best, of like where you are at this current moment, so that you can get a report card later and say, oh, I was in a 7 and now I'm an 8. And in relationships, I just want to tell you that this is really good when you have children or your spouse or friends or sisters. Say, how am I doing? How am I doing right now? Give me a score from 1 to 10. How do you feel our relationship is? How do you feel I'm doing? And then once they give the score, you could say, well, how could I move that score even 1 point? If they say a 6, how can I get from a 6 to a 7? I mean, it's a little bit much to go from 6 to a 10. I mean, that's the goal, of course, right? That's the goal. But let's just move one point. All right. So spiritual, then you've got your finances, your financial, emotional, physical, and relational. Those are the areas that we need to, figure out where we're at currently so that we can strive to be better. And I don't know about you, but every single thing that happens each and every day, I kind of laser beam it as a lesson. For instance, when I was writing my book, I had gone to the beach. And this beach, I mentioned this before, had a cliff. And the cliff had, I think, 5, maybe 6 different platforms. So you have like 20 steps, you hit a platform. 20 steps, you hit another platform. And this was the 5th time I was going down, which when you go down and you have to go back up. And so and when I got to the first platform for the 5th time, I was walking with another friend and I said, why is it so much easier to go down than it is to go up? And right when I said that, I thought, that's a radio show right there. I know, sounds kind of strange too. But think about it. In life, it is so much easier to mess up or to take a wrong turn than it is to take the high road, at least for some people. And then you have to learn, and it's a harder lesson, right? Because you maybe made a mistake and it wasn't what you should have done. I don't like the word should. My son's teaching me not to say should anymore. But there might have been a better way to handle that. But I thought it was interesting that came out of my mouth, and it was so much bigger than just the steps, and it was harder to come back up. I mean, I would get out of breath. And the 5th time is actually I got better, because as you keep doing the same thing, you hopefully you develop and you get better at it. But I'm hoping it's for a good thing, not negative, like the alone versus the alive. I just thought that was interesting, and that's just one of those things where it just kind of like, aha. It was one of those aha moments going, that is so true in life. It's so much easier to go down, to get down, to go down, than it is to get up and get back on, which I have a story about that too. But when you do get back up and you get back on, you realize what you're made of. You realize that you didn't think you could, but then you did. And there's something building you up and making you feel better. because you go, I didn't know I could do that. I thought that was more than I could do. And then you get up and you do it and you're going, wow, I did it. Woohoo. I did it. And you can do it too. If there's something that's holding you back. I looked up Fear Not in the Bible with Bible Gateway. It's a great program. And do you know that fear not is in the Bible, or the word fear, something fear, but I think it was fear not, is in 365 times. 365, which is one fear not per day for the whole year. And I'm thinking, well, isn't that interesting? We must need fear nots a lot in our minds, right? Yep. So we're talking about being thankful and being grateful and how it affects us in such a positive way. I can tell you personally that when I am down, and I do get down sometimes, I get tired and I get down and I feel like, what next? And I realized that right then is that I'm glad there is a next. I am glad, I'm thankful that I'm going through this right now because it's rubbing off my rough edges. It's teaching me something that I need to learn. It's making me a better person. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this mess I'm going through. I'm thankful for that person who did blah, blah, blah. Why? Because I'm going to be better next time. I'm going to do a better job, whether it's communicating or disciplining or not tolerating. I tolerate too much sometimes. Colossians 3:15, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts and be thankful. When we let Christ's peace lead us, gratitude becomes our natural response. That's a big word for me right now, peace. I'm searching for peace. How about you? There's a lot of non-peace. It's not peaceful. And I want peace. So what is it I can do to bring me peace? What are some steps I can take to create my peace? And what is it I'm doing that's creating chaos? What is it that I'm doing or not doing right to cause more non-peace? Is it my choices of people that I'm hanging out with? Is it the way I talk, the way I text? Why do I feel this uneasiness, this not peaceful situation? And I don't know, ask yourself that question if you want to and come up with an answer. Because when you ask a question, you will get one. Because God says, ask and you shall receive, as long as it's within His will. Well, His will is for you to learn more, be more for Him. So if you're asking the questions, you will get an answer. It's whether you're listening or not. Ouch to some of you. Ouch. Philippians 4:6-7, one of my favorites. This scripture I know by heart. And the reason is because I lean on it so often and so much, especially when I was married for 32 years. I was very anxious. Anxious wife, wanting to do everything right, trying to figure out how to be better at what I'm doing. Anybody know what that feels like? And motherhood, being the best mom you could be. And what does that mean even? Especially when you didn't have maybe the best role model you could have had, the best family unit that you could have had. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation with thanksgiving, see, this is key. God is telling us what to do. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, do you hear that? Not just ones you think are big enough for Him. Any situation with thanksgiving, you come with a thankful heart. Present your requests to God. This is Philippians 4:6-7, and right before that is Philippians 4:4, and it's be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. That's what he says. Be anxious for nothing. I forgot to put my phone on silent, but that's okay. Psalm 100, 4 through 5. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, for the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His love endures forever. Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? Thanksgiving is how we enter into God's presence. It shifts the atmosphere of our hearts. I have friends who are like, in churches I've gone to, and the worship is long. It's long because this is what it's saying. Thanksgiving is how we enter into God's presence. Well, part of Thanksgiving is worshiping him, singing words of praise. So the friends that I have, they don't understand. They don't understand this yet. And so they come in halfway through the worship. And when I was ushering a long time ago, there was quite a few people that came halfway through the worship. And I had family members, same thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to come halfway through. So, I'll see you in like 15 minutes or something, And they miss out on the worship to where you just let things go and you're in a mindset, you're in the spirit, and you can just feel the presence of the Lord. But if people don't understand worship and what that does, then they're not going to catch that. So if you're one of those people, understand that the more you praise him, the more you thank him, the closer you're going to be to him. And another thing, if you don't feel close to the Lord, and at once you did feel close to the Lord, you know what I found out? It's really amazing. But guess what I found out? He doesn't move away from us. He doesn't move away from us. Guess who moves? Who's moving away from who? It's we are separating ourselves from him. And when you separate from him, you lose the blessings, that closeness, that intimacy. I love that word, intimacy. Intimacy. That's intimacy. It doesn't mean what everybody thinks it means. It means into me, meaning you really see me and I really see you, and I still love and care for you. Even though I'm seeing the good and the bad, that I still love you. That's Jesus. That's God. He knows our every word before we speak it. He knows every hair on our head before we're born. He knows us inside and out because he's our creator. He created us, right? So if he created us, he knows the good, the bad, the ugly. Even if you're hiding it, no, he knows all things. He knows it all, and he knew it before you knew it. Isn't that something? Every good and perfect gift is from above. Do you believe that? I thought about this a while ago, and I thought about, because I have friends that are really struggling with health issues, and I have another friend who had parents that had dementia and had other issues, gangrene, diabetes, and watching that person lay in that bed. And I've done this where I've had friends that have died of cancer, and I'd be by their bedside, including my dad, who died of lung cancer, who I wasn't close to, but I was still there. But seeing them and talking to them when it was comfortable to do so, which is kind of an uncomfortable situation because they don't want to let on that they know that maybe they're going, and they're trying to keep it cool and keep strong for you. But if we can really have a deep conversation to say, how are you feeling right now, and how does it feel to be fighting? And what's your future hold for you? And we don't have to wait for the moment when they're so close to that moment maybe, but don't we all have something in our heads as far as what happens when we die? And I thought about me, and if I had like 1 week or a month, if someone told me, this makes me cry because I have so much to do, and I just want to be here and see my kids and my grandkids, and I just want to experience everything I can. But if I was given like a month to live, would it matter how much money I had? Would it matter? There's so much that wouldn't matter anymore. Think about it for yourself. Just think about it, because it kind of puts you in alignment, and it makes your priorities really your priorities. And for me, my priority is, I'm getting choked up, would be to make sure that everybody I love that has stood by my side, that has cared enough to ask, how are you? I would want to make sure they knew the most important words. And they're really simple, aren't they? What would you want your loved ones to know more than anything? I think it would be, I love you. And it just doesn't seem like those words are big enough to express the emotion behind what they say. I love you. And I appreciate you. And I'll see you in heaven someday. But isn't it amazing with all the busyness in our business, whatever your business is, ministry, whatever it is, we're so busy. To say those words don't always come out. I love you. Every phone call, every time you meet, hug, kiss. I love you. Because you never know, do you? You never know if that's the last time you're going to see that person. And we just think we have forever, don't we? I mean, we just keep going as if we've got forever. But we don't. We don't have forever, do we? Ephesians 5:20. Always giving thanks to God, the Father, for everything. Gratitude is an everyday lifestyle, not just once a year holiday. So even though we are in the Thanksgiving season, can we make a point to share our love and our feelings with those that we care about? And pray for your enemies too, because you're called to do that. And honor thy father, thy mother. Call your mother. Call your father. How are you doing? It's a great question. How are you doing? Was thinking about you. How are you doing? When are we going to see you again? Man, that's so sweet. And so caring. And we just think, you know, my parents left a long, long time ago, way too soon. My dad at 60, my mother at, I think, 73, way too young. I thought I had more time. And I miss them more, my mom than my dad. I miss my mom. If you still have your parents, take the time to check in with them. They took care of you for years and years and years. It's time to check in on them. If you have any good memories at all about your childhood with a parent, honor thy father, honor thy mother. Call them and check in. Make sure they're okay. And moms, dads, same goes for you. If you have the ability to make a phone call, if you have the ability to text, phone calls are better. I love the voice better. Take the time to let those people know that you love them, that you're proud of them, that they mean the world to you. It's very important. I'm so thankful for my family. I'm thankful, even though, you know what? Let me just tell you, my family can be a biggest pain. They can be the biggest pain, and they can hurt me by their words or their actions. But they're my family. And I love them. And I have friends that are amazing. I do. Do you? And are you a good friend? If not, you can change now. Your script can change today. You make a decision on how you want to show up. You make a decision on where you are in your life, spiritually, financially, emotionally, physically, and relationally. Which one of those spokes needs the most attention right now? I know which one needs the most attention for me. There's two for me. Is spiritually, I want to always put that number one, because I want to be impactful with significance. And the other one is relational, my personal relationships. They need focus. I need time. So I'm trying to get those 15 hours a week back. So I'll let you know how that's going. And last but not least, I want to just share with you, God just put it on my heart to write this book. And this book is Why Am I Here? I am showing it because I'm on Facebook Live and I'm on YouTube Live on Tuesdays at noon or noon 05. So I'm showing the book because it's on Amazon. It has already reached bestseller. And ask yourself this: who am I? And why am I here? And our God is a God of second chances, because he is, and thirds and fourths and fifths. And this book is really easy read. It's very thin. It's not very many pages. It's a workbook. So you can write at the end of each chapter, like your takeaways, and you can write, it asks you questions so that you can do some soul searching. And I think it's very healthy. So Why Am I Here by Sue Fries, and that's spelled like fries. And go to my website and check out all the things that are there for you, especially the I ams, so you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Change your belief system by changing your words. And don't let people speak negative things to you. Rebuke it and move on and replace it with something positive. Okay? These are really helpful hints, and I'm hoping you take this advice, because this has worked for me. And I know it'll work for you if you want to choose. And reading your Bible and learning scriptures is really important also. So are you anxious? What are you anxious about? Think about the worst thing that could happen in any anxious thought, the worst that could happen, and work through that. And then it takes all of that power away from that anxious thought. And that's what I used to do. I don't need to do that so often anymore. Be a blessing to someone each and every day. And I look forward to next week with another message. So be a blessing. Bye.